Mr. Chairman, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. First of all, I believe that once you look at what I presented for the first page, you would probably asking, are you serious? Right? Because I mean, I'm not an economist for sure. I'm by train architect. Darvis was asking me to fill into just essays or whatever for the economists because he was very curious how I can open. I very much practice in the global way. We had offices that is really offices in Jakarta, in Bali, in Kyoto, in Ahmedabad, in Boston and Washington, and we are now currently doing tender in Sydney. Which is actually it's not that hard, and we really don't have much money for sure. But because the way that we have the 21st century is changing, so at first I was going to write about our studio, but then again, because through our discussion, I said I have find the right perspective to see it, but it means that I have to go back to Das Kapital, volume 4. And volume 1, especially section 4, we're talking about values and the general formula of the capital. But of course, I will not do that here in Indonesia. I said, I mean, if you invite me to Sorbonne or to the hub, I'll be happy to do that. I don't want to go into unneeded problems. So I think something that is much more simple, but it's a straightforward case studies. So here we go. Can someone help me with?
I'll ask here because I don't know.
Let's just use this. Okay, so I think I'm going to skip this until we have enough time for that. This is basically the thing that we already discussed yesterday. Yeah. Okay, then I will go back. I will go to here. So this is I will go directly to the case studies. This is a terra firma. So what happens? Terra firma was one of the largest private equity in the world at the time. That they operate by buying distressed company and resell it for higher profit in a financially started. In August 2007, Terra firma bought AMI, one of the largest ever musical recording companies, for $5 billion, almost 5 billion. But only after 2 years, the firm went bankrupt and lost into the group to Citigroup as their main creditor. Okay, so what happened is that what happened at that time we thought was that actually what Terra firma did wrong was that not only that they bought a distressed company, but they also bought a distressed company that is already in the distressed industry. So what happens is that by the turning of the century, we have so many things that the industry that was used to be established that actually becoming distressed. And especially things that have something to do with the art-based industries. Okay, so what happened is that from 1999 to 2009, you can see that sales that make overall it turned into a much more around 45% dropped, And then let's just go to the basic, defining the traditional music industry is the selling record albums, which is the major label business operation. However, throughout the time, they have built 3 flaws that are quite important. First, the recording company intervened too deep into the creative level, and then the music sounds familiar one to another. Second, the development of MP3 that becoming now that digital music becomes easier to copy so then piracy becomes a DIY operations daily. And the third is that the online distribution system caused by the Apple's iTunes. That now the case is that people can buy songs instead of albums, where before you have to buy albums, the whole albums, even if you don't like all the songs. So this is one of the key changes that happened in our society in the music industry. So anyway, during the terra firma short periods in the MI, they have done like, first it was the straightforward thing, 2,000 employees were laid off, and then but the other things that they also have part ways to most of their artists, most of them which are top selling calibers. So there's something wrong with this. And then this is the case study, the 32nd to Mars. I don't really know the songs, but this is like maybe your generation music. So what happened is that they basically were stars, LA based, rock experimental, blah blah blah. They made 3.5 million copies for the second album and 3 million copies for the third album. And they got sued for $30 million by their own label, AMI. This is the highest level of sue ever made in the music industry. So then what really happened between the labels and, so we were talking about the stress industry, so what happened between the labels and the artists? Okay, these are the common label traditional business plan. First, the artist got paid $150,000 US for recording, and then they will make, say, 500,000 copies. Remember, 32nd to Mars made more than 3 million copies. So just assuming this is 500,000 copies, they will yield $5 million US, and then the label will take 85% of the yield, around 4.25 million. So that leaves with the artist 750 million royalty. However, that royalty will be deducted with 250,000, the original advance, and 300,000 recording production. And then furthermore, they will be deducted for music videos and to support and cost, and leaving the artist minus 425,000 US. So, and then this becomes one of the common denominator, that it becomes the artist debt per record albums. So typically you will have 4 albums per contract, and it will leave with minus 1.7 million US in debt. So what happened with the case was, okay, the lawsuit happened as the artists breached their contracts for not having any royalty paid even after selling 3.5 million copies. But the AMI said that while record labels AMI claimed that after selling 3.5 million copies, the artists are still $2,700,000 in debt to AMI. Okay, we're talking about lawsuits, so there got to be a breach between them. It's a figures that can be proven in the court. So, however, the thing that become famous is that the 32nd to Mars 30 million lawsuit is equal to the rank that the artist, whatever, how much ever you manage to sell your albums, you will get paid 250,000 US only, constant, and that's all, with a contract that will last for 7 years or 4 albums. Okay, this is the second case study, Kakao. Kakao was, because not anymore, they already dispersed, Jakarta-based avant-garde heavy metal band. So this is on the background of the music sceneries. However, they have been there in the industry for 20 years, so very long time. 10 full albums, not many artists do 10 full albums. 2 EPs, 2 compilation, live documentaries, and they hit shows like in the major shows in the Europe and in the US. But it's not popular music. Okay, so how much sales do they make? The largest they make is only 5,000 copies, and that's it. But that was made independently. Okay, however, they are very understand to what happened to the industries. They really knows what happened. So, for instance, these are the answers to the three flaws. First, if we stay, I just want to quote, if we stayed in metal, like our first two albums, I believe we will sell a lot more, but we don't want to. So that's the first answer to the first flaw. The second flaw, with the whole iPod revolution and the huge use of high-speed internet, more people tend to have MP3 players than CD players. People don't want to buy full-price physical products anymore. And then the third is it is better to get two smaller record labels, one in Europe and one in America. Working with bigger labels is a different story altogether. We want to feel that requirements. So they really understand what really happens on the market, unlike the big popular bands. So this is the next one is something that I would call is the post-capital industry in the music industry. This is Bandcamp.com. If you press one of these, it will come to you. So you can download it and pay some money. But please, let's pay attention to the rating. Buy now for $10. Buy now for $5 or more. Buy now for $1 or more. Buy now and name your price. Okay, what are they means? Okay, first, click on their official digital download Bandcamp portal with all 10 albums, blah 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 blah, available there. Out of all these, 2 full albums were on sale for $8, $10, and then 4 for $5 or more, 2 EP for $1 or more, 4 full albums for name your price. What does this mean? This means that an X dollars or more is seen. It's where records buyer can buy download all songs in the intended album for minimum payment of X dollars or X dollars plus any amount they wish to donate to the band. So you can buy it for $5 or you can buy it for $10 or whatever you want it. And then the second is the name your price means you can buy download album for any price, even $0, which means free of charge. This is another way of doing business. So, okay, now we go to the next one. We jump to another one. So this is the company that responsible to make the big names of record companies going bankrupt, Auyeung Lai, everyone going bankrupt, Capital Music. So this is the sole entity that is responsible for it. Okay, Apple's iTunes is the entity responsible for the revolutionary distribution system. What if entity as big as Apple's iTunes revolutionize the post-capital market, the one that we just talked? What will it be like? This is now what I'm imagining. How can we change that into the music industry? Okay, first, Carl first album sold for 5,000 copies independently. With a new digital management after 20 years in the business and then recorded full album, it would be easy to say just okay. With the digital market, they can sell it twice. Say just for the sake of it. So in a 10,000 selling albums, they would make at least minimum $50,000 if they sell it for $5 or more. Let's compare them first. Yeah. Year of production, 2005, 2015, major label, independent label, market type, physical media, digital download only, sales 3.5 million copies, the other one 10,000 copies, revenue 250,000, constant, this one 50,000, labels revenue minus 2.7 million because they went bankrupt, and this one constant, $50,000. What does this mean? It is important to note that both artists are living in 2 different geographies and 2 different levels of purchasing power, with one in the US and the other one in Indonesia. Okay, now I will simplify this like we talked about yesterday with the GDP and GDP per capita, just to make it easier to look at the number. Say that given US GDP per capita is 53,000 plus and Indonesian is 3,500 plus, this means that the U.S. capita per income ratio is approximately 15 folds of the Indonesian. This means that if 32nd Mart they are able to make $250,000 income, by ratio is equivalent to Kakao 750,000. Why? Because they make 50,000 only, but times 50. In a sense, at the same level of GDP per capita. And it's amazing. They make like in equivalence 3 times, 3 folds to what the second Mart to Mars made. So, post capital market for the global south. Okay, so how many minutes?
2 minutes.
2 minutes, I think it's enough. So I'll just go back before I go to conclusion. Okay. So I will go to the microeconomy now. We have the Goldman Sachs with 337, blah blah, the next 11, paper number 99, 134, and 157. We can see this. The prediction from the nowadays the US are for folds, but they will be like only half from the Chinese. But and if we put all together, we have the G7, the BRIC, and the next 11. So this is the comparison between the GDP forecast of 2050 between the China and USA. But if you put that forecast into forecast per capita, it's still showing the same figure. So the next invention in marketing was after blue ocean, red ocean, and then the BOP. We're talking about the base pyramid of capitals. So this is the figures. So BOP means that 3 billion people who live under $2.50 a day. And then we have the fortune at the bottom pyramid. So what happened with the BOP? BOP captured emerging market momentum, forwarding volume base, but the idea is the revenue generated from slight profit margin operation engaged in a very large volume of emerging economy, ever growing. It can overcome the established market's high profit. However, the capital flow that operates in the worldwide scale is not necessarily changing much. Why? Because as much as the company that recently comes floating using the BOP method to the Africa and to Asia, they are multinational companies that basically the profits going back to their countries. They have employment here, but the capital is going back there. So there's no really a point in the BOP. So once again, the South is becoming foreign economic objects instead of subject in its own homeland. Then the South becomes the ATM, the first world, as always. Okay, so from there, is there any other method to be equal? So this is our conclusion. Actually, when we were talking about the macroeconomy and microeconomy, in the grassroots ways, the microeconomy can actually answer that. But I'm not sure if we can do it on the micro way. So first, despite of having 3.5 million record sales difference, because 32nd to March sold 3.5 million copies, and the Kakao only sold 50,000 copies. Despite of that, Kakao is presumably able to generate a fifth of what 32nd made to $250,000 in ratio to 50,000. But even equal base purchasing power calculation, it will be like 3 times. This shows how effective, efficient regarding to the sales and the revenue ratio, sustainable physical good versus digital. We're talking about the new technology can provide a much easier, effective and efficient way of economies. So by selling music on other means of creative product in the global market, understanding the new post-capital market behavior, because they tend to do it based on donation right now, and utilizing the latest technology available, the developing world's inferior macroeconomy can actually be advantaged to enhance and overcome the established industrial development. Why? Because at the end of the day, by selling digital music worldwide, artists living in the South region will get paid on dollars while spending it on much weaker respected currency. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So, actual issue, about the music world, music industry. It was Eka. Now next, here what I have here is Mrs. Yolanda Masnita. Nadia is here? Nadia? No, Nadia is not here. No. Because we missed 2 persons. We missed Nadia and we missed Joseph. But now we start with Yolanda, 15 minutes, and then followed by Fachru Daisy. Same record.
Music industry.
USB. No. Music.
Okay, thank you. Before I start with my presentation, I will introduce myself. My name is Yolanda, and I have a dear girlfriend, Hermien Triyowati, but she absent recently here. Actually, my research about the paper research, not a macro like the first presenter and the second presenter. The title is Further Commitment Against Supply Chain Business Process Integration. That is a study of Confucian dynamism. So, this presentation consists of 6 parts. First about the background, and then the literature review, and then research method, analysis and discussion, implication, and the last is the future research. So, the background, I make a simple. This research, novelty of this research is, I try to give the one variable important is about the Confucian dynamism, because many previous studies have been conducted in the use of information technology to improve the effectiveness of supply chain management, while only few studies have concentrated on behavioral perspective to identify the impact of behavioral aspect of supply chain management on the commitment and business process integration. Explore the relationship between commitment and business integration and supply chain management. Research revealed the different management, marketing, and behavioral factors affect the commitment to supply chain management and supply chain integration business. This is my research problem. How does marketing determinants of supply chain management, behavioral determinants of supply chain management, trust of supply chain management as a factor commitment against supply chain business process integration? So the research purpose, the general research purpose is to examine of factor commitment against supply chain business process integration, which are reviewed based on a study of Confucian dynamism. And I have 2 minor questions about the research purpose. The first is to examine the influence of commitment against supply chain business process, and then the last is to examine the direct and indirect effect of factor supply chain commitment, namely marketing determinant of supply chain management, behavioral determinant of supply chain, and supply chain against the trust of business process integration. We know the supply chain is collaboration between marketing and operation management in the industry. So supply chain management confirm the interaction between the function of marketing, production, and a company, using the opportunity to improve service and cost reduction can be done through coordination and cooperation between the procurement of raw material and distribution. For my research, I have 6 variables, and every variables have a definition and have a measurement. Like the first is marketing determinant. This is I take for Goodman and Diane 2001. They say the marketing determinant have 3 measurements. Yes, there is idiosyncratic investment, and then product sellability, and the level of dependence. And the second variable is a behavioral determinant. This is my novelty for my research because the Confucian dynamism more interesting about the behavioral something individual in one company. And then the third variable is trust of supply chain management. That means is a desire to maintain quality relationship in the future. This I take definition for the Barino and Johnson. And then the fourth variable is supply chain management commitment. That means it's a promise or agreement to do something in the future of the supply chain relationship. And then the fifth variable is business process integration, and this is the definition. And I take the conceptual framework for my research. We can look like this. We have 3 independent variables, and then we have 1 intervening variable, and then we try to how supply chain business process integration highest. This is the research method. I take the hypothesis testing for research design, and then my object is a small and business enterprise. So in Indonesia we call the UMKM, usaha menengah. And then this object about the furniture industry, with the respondent is manager involved in the process of supply chain management, covering the supply of goods, production of goods, and finance and marketing. I get the sampling method is purposive sampling, and the types of data I get primary and secondary data. With the primary data I give the questionnaire, and then the secondary data I take a lot of data from the SMESCO in Indonesia. So the method of data analysis, I get the multiple regression. So this is 7 hypotheses I take, and I test for my research. We have 7 from the conceptual framework. So this is the, finally, this is the hypothesis result. For the hypothesis 1 is supported until hypothesis 7, but only hypothesis 3 and hypothesis 7 in unsupported. The other hypothesis is supported, but before I get the hypothesis testing, surely I get the test for validity and reliability for the measurement about my every variables. So maybe this is the implication for my research is supply chain management involving the company and a series of business as a set of activity in the form of entity atau facility will be involved in process of transformation and distribution of goods ranging from raw materials of the earliest of nature to the finished product at the end the customer. So that each company has a level of dependence of judgment. This is dependence will be integrated properly, have a mutual commitment between the companies. So the second is companies include the range of the supply chain management, desire to have an integrated business process must pay attention to supply chain management commitment and supply chain structure consisting of marketing determination, behavioral determination, and trust. And the last is any company that become part of the supply chain consisting of companies that rise the raw materials from the earth or universe, companies that transform raw material into semi-finished material or component, or we call work in process, supply support material product, corporate assembly, distributor, and retailer. So that any company that is in a series of too much supply chain associated with a network of value-adding activities. This is the next future research. Maybe this is from the limitation of the research. First is measurement of supply chain business process integration. Surely, quantitatively, such as measuring the amount of charge that can be set between the company and the supplier response speed, and so forth. And the second, one measure of success is the relationship between a company and the supply chain is how to ease of communication. It's very difficult to implement if the medium of communication used by the company is still conducted by the limitation of the communication medium. Future study should consider the construct of the communication media use.
Thank you. Thank you on time. Thank you on time. Even less than 50 minutes, so very good. And I think this issue is more relevant to the issue by Mr. Fachru, yeah, about dealing between different business units,
Yeah.
from raw material until market.
Yeah,
consumer.
yeah, of customer.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Yolanda. Now, you need to.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Welcome.
Chairman, for the opportunity to share my paper here. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, this is actually a paper review, so not based on research, but I review many researchers in the area of supply chain management. And yeah, this is still the same topic with Yolanda about supply chain management. Yeah, because supply chain management is now becoming the important key performance in current business, yeah, especially from the operation department, and even the competition among business is not business to business now, but between supply chains.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can get the resource from around the world, and your market can be also around the world. So, yeah, right. Okay. My title is Sustainable Supply Chain Management and the impact on sustainable performance. So maybe in my abstract is company performance, but actually, yeah, sustainable performance. Yeah. Okay. Well, again, yes, the issue of sustainable development is now being so hot. Yeah, everybody talk about sustainable development, and the issue of sustainable development become a pressure to every business to incorporate the sustainability issue in their business practice. And one of the important aspect again in the operation department, which is supply chain management, it's also now dituntut to practice the sustainable supply chain management, and of course the current issue also, the assessment in the performance of a business, it should be in a sustainable manner also. So not just performance based on the economic aspect like profit and so on, but also other aspect of sustainability, which is social and environmental, and of course economic. Okay, and we start with the definition of sustainable development. Well, the terminology of sustainable development, I think all of us already understand that it starts from 1987 from Brundtland report. That sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So, in this definition, it has three implications. Again, economic, social, and environmental. So it means, again, in doing every kind of business, now you cannot just aware with your economic or your profit aspect, but you are also mandated to do the social and environmental responsibility. Yeah, these three implications known as TBL, triple bottom line. And even Nidu Molu Prahalat and one of their team in this research said that there is no alternative to sustainable development. So yes, you have to do business in a sustainability manner. Okay. Again, from the dynamics of the sustainable development, Then again, go to my topic. In the operations department, we should implement the one of the strategic important decisions should be made in operations department is managing supply chain in the sustainable manner. It should be sustainable. Okay. What is sustainable supply chain management? Sustainable supply chain management involves integrating environmental thinking into the supply chain management. So previously Yolanda already also defined what is supply chain management. So sustainable supply chain management means you should incorporate the issue of sustainability in your supply chain management. So this aims is to minimize or eliminate wastages, including hazardous chemical emissions, energy, solid waste, along the supply chain, such as product design, etc. And the sustainable performance, it is also then consists of these three aspects. Again, three aspects. So not just economic goals such profit, yeah, but also social goals and environmental goals. I will present one of the example of a framework in assessing the sustainability performance. There are many approaches. Actually, this is one of the framework developed by Fachru. So, sustainability dimensions, the three aspects, economic, social, and environmental, and economic performance. Yeah, it's just like supply chain costs, how efficient we do the supply chain management, the service level, how fast we can deliver the product to the customer, etc. But also social performance, like our concern to the society, equality, and so on. Yeah, product responsibility also, and also social responsibility. Maybe this is already familiar for all of us. And the environmental performance. Environmental performance can be measured by many indicators such as water usage, energy consumption, waste generation, and so on. Many years ago, Coca-Cola has a problem with their use of water. It was they need 3.5 liters to produce 1 liter Coke. So it's very too many. And then they do they improve their technology and so on, and then they can reduce the use of water to 2.5 liters. So it's reduced by 1 liter. So this is an environmental performance, the example. And Coca-Cola, one of the good performers, in the sustainability performance. Well, these are some of the empirical research I have reviewed in the range of period from 2010 until 2015, so these 5 years. Okay, the first is from Jailani et al. So from their research, this is the conclusion that their sustainability or environmental practices in sustainable and supply chain management, which is like efficiency in the using of electricity, energy, and so on. And then also they do the sustainable packaging, and from these two practice, it improves the sustainable performance. Other research, so to make it more fast, from the Perotti in 2012. Green supply chain performance, green supply chain practice. It is improved environment and economic performance. And then Lee, it is also improved the business performance. It is more connect with the economic performance. But from Green Junior et al., the practice of green supply chain management can improve their operational performance and improve their organizational performance, and also improve to the environment and economic performance. And then from Hassan, Laos, Siri, Hong Kong, this is from Thailand. Hassan in Malaysia also have almost the same result. Golisik and Smith. And then Ortas.
Maybe you can take the overall conclusion of all this.
Yeah, right. These are the summarize of the research. So in general, from my review to the research empirical studies in the last 5-year period, it can be summarized as follows. Firstly, in general, the researchers stated that as SCM practices, sustainable supply chain management practices, have a positive impact on sustainability performance of organization, both economically, socially, and environmentally. And the impact, some of the research is directly impact, but other are indirectly. But in general, it has positive impact. The impact to the sustainable performance that is indirectly can be mediated by the partner relationship or environmental collaborations as a facilitator that will facilitate the green supply chain management practices. And then other result that there is a significant increase in the company's involvement in the implementation of efforts of supply chain sustainability supply chain management. So the awareness of companies all over the world, it is also increased because this is a pressure from the environment, from the world to do the sustainability practice of business. There are also sustainability supply chain management or green supply chain management practices that simply because the demands of legislation and regulation. There is still data or a result of research that some of the company, they implement the sustainable supply chain management because of the law, because of the regulation. But it also impacts on the sustainability performance. So the conclusions, I think almost the same from the summary. In general, sustainable supply chain practices have a positive impact on sustainability performance of organization, economically, socially, and or environmentally, directly or indirectly. This result indicates the important role of supply chain management that should be managed in sustainable manner in achieving higher sustainable performance. There's also significant increase in the company's involvement in practicing the SSCM or sustainable supply chain management. Well, the implication, of course, the companies need to increasingly integrate the sustainability issues in their supply chain practices. Well, actually, not only in the supply chain practices, but in every activities or business practices. Not just because of the demands of the law and regulations. So they should, comes from their heart. Implementing this practice because we know that the world needs it. And then to facilitate and simplify the SCM practices, enterprises can conduct collaborations or partnership with various parties. So maybe for some companies, the issue of sustainability is still new issue for them, and maybe they still unclear about how to conduct a sustainability practice of business, so they can do some collaboration and integration with other parties. Well, I think that's all from my presentation.
Thank you very much. Sustainability of time we have done. How many we still have left? The presenter.
Sobarsa.
Two. Astrid.
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 Astrid, okay.
Astrid first and then Tabaras.
Still need, because the other group is still there, so we can follow. Because officially 3 o'clock we finish. Okay, Astrid. And then followed by Sobarsa. Those are our lecturer
Oh, lecturer.
with custom, the same color.
Professor.
Welcome. From Nigeria,
Okay.
Institute of African Studies. And you need to learn African studies here, not only Asian studies.
This will present Nigerian economy, the economy of Boko Haram.
Yes.
Yeah, I said the first time I see your presentation. Causality relationship between foreign debt and economic growth in Indonesia. Okay. It's also serious issue, yeah, foreign debt.
Thank you.
You have copies, is it?
I want to present my research. The title is the causality relationship between foreign debt and economic growth in Indonesia, 1986 to 2013. This is my paper. The research background of my paper, I'm going to explain, but thank you. 2007, economic growth is one important indicator to look at the success of economic development in the country. As a developing country, Indonesia requires substantial funds to carry out the construction and all economic activities. Although foreign debt is very helpful in order to cover the shortage or loss in the state budget or APBN, but it has become the problem to country that has soft currency like Indonesia. Indonesia is very vulnerable to fluctuation in exchange rate that can impact the economic growth. This research aims to see whether there is a positive and significant relationship between foreign debt and economic growth in Indonesia in 1986 to 2013. These are the data about the countries to Indonesian debt, source of a country who lend their money to Indonesia, source of Indonesia, Bank of Indonesia, 2014.
Japan is dominant,
Okay, is Japan is bad.
always.
And the foreign debt and GDP of Indonesia 20 to 2011 also shows Bank of Indonesia, and they explain the graph. Okay, it's very to increase. Okay, I want to explain about the variables and that I explain
Can you just jump to the model
the model.
instead of this
Okay, okay.
theoretical base?
So,
Because theory is we all know.
okay. The factor economic growth is human technology, social culture, and capital, and also natural resources. And human resource management, technology, natural resources and capital, and social culture, human resource management. And the theory of economic growth is from the many writer solo early 1990 solo center on capital accumulation and this relationship with the level of saving and non-process economic. The balance point occurs when the combination of GDP per capita and capital per capita economic process present in that position. And how the relationship between the growth and level of investment. That a certain level of national income that is sufficient to absorb the entire workforce with which level in one period, then in the next period you are no longer sufficient to absorb of the existing workforce. And assume that the capitalist system is the best system to getting rapid economic development. And an important factor in the economic development is the process of innovation, and the capital is the innovator or entrepreneur. Impact of foreign debt to economic growth. The foreign debt is calculated based on the ratio of debt to GDP, have a positive impact on economic growth until it reaches a critical point to economic growth. This implies that the policy should not exceed the debt limit so the debt can make a positive contribution to economic growth. So, 20. The increasing of foreign debt will increasing sources so that make the country able to cover the gap that occurs between investment and saving. The dependency theories argues that the main hypothesis dependency theory is foreign direct investment and also foreign debt. And the short period foreign debt can enlarge, but in the long run will hamper. Many countries rely on API and foreign debt. It's a debt trap. The condition of debt trap can occur if the total payment on the debt over a period of approximately greater than total revenue from debt. It means the foreign debt received only used to pay another foreign debt. There are two components of the payment of the foreign debt in the budget, namely the payment of foreign debt, interest and principal repayment of foreign debt. The debt trap can be known by looking at the size of cost per total foreign financing. If the government foreign debt position for a pattern that tend to fluctuate, that the chance of foreign debt instead of debt trap. Another case if the condition of total external financing is
Astrid,
negative.
maybe it's good if you just show us whether you found the causality relationship between foreign debt and the economic growth using Indonesian data. So the model of the spread.
There is a framework, conceptual model. It's economic growth causality foreign debt. The hypothesis of foreign debt and economic growth have a significant two-way relationship, such as Fachru and foreign debt and economic growth have a significant relationship in the long-term relationship. It's the methodology, economic growth, and then hasilnya. And the root test, the result probability GDP,
hasil akhirnya aja. Conclusion. Ya, conclusionnya.
Economic growth is one indicator to assess the success of development of a country. For developing countries, including Indonesia, the rapid flow of capital is a great opportunity to obtain financing economic development. However, due to limited available resources, reflected in national saving are still slightly, while the need for funding for the economic development. The way to achieve economic growth is by trying to improve the investment or also to make loans that grow. The result is different from the initial hypothesis, which states that there is a bidirectional relationship between foreign debt and economic growth. The recent result shows only one-way relationship of debt to economic growth through greater causality. The effect of foreign debt to the country's economic growth is significant. It means foreign debt in Indonesia has a significant role in economic growth in Indonesia. The long-term relationship is found through this reason. That's also found through the existing model of long-term predictable model of short-term foreign debt between variable economic growth. My suggestion is
Don't borrow money. Just don't borrow money.
Stop borrow money.
Government expected to limit the amount for the debt, which in the long run can have a negative impact on the economic activity. For optional allocation of foreign aid, it is necessary to think about the reorientation of projects that are financed by foreign debt and the role of supervision by the competent institution through its representative institution. It is expected the government to further examine the current legal agreement of borrowing the foreign debt to avoid big losses. Payment of debt also should not be delayed.
Just pay on time. So this very interesting point because I think this the only issue in this session which is more close or relevant to Asia Africa, because Africa has also problem with the debt, foreign debt, and Asia also. It's very interesting. Okay, finally our rather philosopher, our friend Sobarsa Kosasih. He just published a book about I got from you one. What the culture
and entrepreneurs.
Yes. And he's studying for how to make use of rumput laut. Ya, that's was oh, bikin bakso dengan rumput laut. Oh, that is first time appear in this session. Okay. Oh, mini program. Mini paper. Mini unfinished paper.
Ada reporternya. Bahasa sih jadi ketahuan.
Bingung nih. Kalau white paper sih.
Mudah-mudahan nggak ada. Mudah-mudahan nggak ada.
Please choose one.
Mudah-mudahan hilang ya.
Ada reporter, ada jarak maksimum. Oh ini kayak. Oh iya.
Wah, adanya film Korea ya?
Paling bawah.
Paling bawah.
Itu paling bawah. Right. Okay. 15 minutes ya, and then we try to discuss depend on which one of your president will help. Okay. Close.
Yes. Thanks, audience. I'd like to present about the result of the impact of the digital summit on student entrepreneur intention at University to Sakti.
They are finished.
Yes, background of this study is first, entrepreneurs are widely recognized as an engine of economic and social development throughout the world. It is for Outreach 2003. Second, in the tough economy, the entrepreneurs try to start a new business, then create job, support innovation, and grow local economy. That's from Frederick et al. Third, Indonesia has many natural resources but has complicated problem regarding the 8.7 million unemployment DPS 2030. I think it is the problem of every developing countries. Then fourth, output University of Indonesia is previously expected to overcome the problem, but in reality, 60% I think it is the problem for the developing countries. How about the Nigeria? It is
finish your paper first,
Yeah.
and then
Oh
answer.
yes, okay. Then 50% of Indonesian activity is in agriculture sector. It reflects that the natural resource is just explored as raw material.
Maybe if you can go directly to your research questions.
Yes. No. That's
No.
but this is the background.
No, I mean,
Jump to research
yeah,
question.
you have research question. What are you going to study in this?
Yes, about this research is okay. No, just
But background we understand.
Intro.
I think it is very important for me because
Okay, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's very important so that we know the details.
Yes,
It's very important.
yes, that's right.
Background.
That's very important.
Background.
I agree with you. Yeah. Just 18% of Indonesian population are entrepreneurs. Yeah. I think about the Nigeria, I don't know about that. Yeah.
Well, I come to that.
Yeah.
Ada apa-apanya,
This
Bang.
is a trend. And this is about object and subject to norm and concept behavior contract is effective entrepreneur intention.
Good. Three variables.
Yeah, that's right. This is hypothesizing items. Talk about that, yeah. And research collecting, this is also very important. 500 questionnaires were distributed to 9 faculties here in Trisakti. 10 students who has finished their study were asked to collect data and carry the respondent failed participation. Yeah. And that, data collecting is why maybe because Trisakti is national private national university, yeah, and we Indonesian is as big as Europe continent, yeah, and we have three.
We have 250 million.
No.
Oh, yes.
About ethnic, yeah, ethnic.
Oh, okay.
300 and
Yeah,
350 ethnic, yeah, you know about them. And it's very, and we have island maybe
But what is to do with this?
17,
Yes,
17 island and 500. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And this is the data collection, descriptive analysis like this. Data processing is okay. It is the it's very similar
Yeah.
from the others.
More technical.
Yes, more technical classical for it.
Really technical.
This one is test formality is okay. Yeah. Culinary test determination is okay. T-test as well. Question, yeah. It is very quick. First, the result of this research point to agent model that entrepreneurial intention determined by subject attitude behavior, subjective norm, and the subject perception of behavioral control. Second, many experts, such as in Latin America, Europe, and also in Asia, the spot.
So what I understand, your hypotheses are accepted.
Yes, exactly.
And the three variables, three factors
That's right.
are indeed determined.
Yes. Okay.
Uh,
And that it is also found that student attitude toward different acts positively influence, yeah, and intention to create a new venture, but it was not very strong relation. Those three variables have positive relationship to entrepreneurial intent, but in which relation? Yeah, is the
okay.
Okay. Then implication. First, as the research showed that the attitude toward entrepreneur positively affect the entrepreneurial intention. So the problem is how to improve the student confidence in regard to their capabilities for entrepreneurs to start a business. Okay. And second, since the study has evidence that those students entrepreneurial intent is a result of participation in enterprise education to increase the students' desirability to start business. And third, thus providing the student to entrepreneurship training is effective, and it is very, very important to mobilize this attitude, which in turn can have a positive effect on intention to start a new business. Therefore, Practical implication is then an attitude change as a crucial part of entrepreneurship education. Object of this, I think.
Thank you so much. Although I'm very rather afraid that because it is the Indonesian government policy that universities should produce as many as possible young entrepreneurs. While in my opinion, universities should also produce even more researchers, scientists, not entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs should be from business school. Okay. I think we can open question until at the earliest maybe 3:30 because I don't know how is the program upset. Are they going to start with the
Plenary session, but
Myanmar?
yeah.
No Myanmar.
Yeah, skip.
Okay, and
And
then
then direct to plenary atau plenary workshop.
what time? No? Initially, after completing, initially was
Ini 15.30.
for Myanmar, cancel. So
Cancel.
then we have plenary for declaration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it already started?
Sorry, Sir, or
4 p.m.
4 p.m. Okay, we have a discussion. So I open the floor to whom you will ask about production engages, about music, about the area. You can also raise questions, entrepreneurs, supply chains. So we open the floor. Please, you.
Okay, possibly.
He will ask you.
Okay, possibly. Well, it's
Because it's challenging.
yes. Indonesia and Nigeria, they have many things in common, but I think the details vary. But I am a historian with diverse interdisciplinary connections. At times, I disagree with socio-economic models, especially when it comes to calculation and excessive proving of line costs and calculations. Because I don't know, because we have a problem in Nigeria. When you measure unemployment,
Yeah, unemployment.
how do you calculate unemployment ratio?
You mean ratio to what?
Yes, yes, in relation to the population,
Okay.
in relation to the school leavers. In Nigeria, most probably we calculate employment based on the formal employments.
Yeah.
But quite a lot of people are engaged on informal. And most of those who engage in informal are also classified as being unemployed. Yes. Because again, there's no clear data on those who are informally employed. Because you, as a private interview, you could stay inside your room, produce a product without the knowledge of government, without any statistics, without any population count on the number of people. So how do you people manage it? How do you manage these covering models with the reality on the ground? Secondly, the disparity between Indonesian policy and Nigeria is that most entrepreneurs are found on non-university level. For those in university, those we train, you see people going in to read law, to read medicine, pharmacy, business management. They end up looking for white-collar jobs instead of using their talent to create. So oftentimes, those people who engage on entrepreneurial services, economic development are those who did not go to school, who did not attend university.
Yeah.
And that made our government to introduce what we call the 6-3-3-4 educational structure. So you have 6 years primary school, 3 years junior secondary school.
Yeah.
At that junior secondary school, if you cannot go further, you go into trade. So you're expected to start training yourself as entrepreneur. So that's really the way we take it in Nigeria.
Not from university.
Yes, not from the university. And again, fortunately or unfortunately, here I'm happy to say 50% of your products are based on agriculture. In Nigeria, just about 5%. Yeah, that's the irony, because we before oil was discovered in 1947, 95% of the Nigerian economy was based.
Are you still OPEC member?
Yeah, we're still an OPEC member. 95% of agriculture, of our economy was based on agriculture. And as soon as oil boom came, people abandoned their farms, those on train abandoned them because of the intervening wealth of oil. And also aided by the issue, which I like to know the extent it operates there, the problem of corruption.
Oh yeah, we have the corruption.
How? Yes. Yes. How do you manage corruption? Yes. Yes. Because people get into government, people get into for personal, not for tomorrow. Yeah. I also teach international cooperation and relations. So I had the time to invite the Israeli ambassador in Nigeria to come and give talks to my students on the Israeli model of economic development. And we were moving, as we were moving from the airport to my school, the Israeli ambassador saw a vast land. We have landed resources unutilized. I said, oh, what are these lands doing? Say, oh, people said he wished that land was that land is lifted and put on the on this. That's irony in Nigerian situation, and that's why I've always said that for South-South cooperation to work better, and I will blame Indonesia for some time, because successive Indonesian governments have focused on Asia, not on Africa, which actually has been the against the spirit of Bandung.
Yes, what the main product of the Nigeria?
Yes, interestingly, palm oil in Malaysia, the sample was taken from Nigeria. Yeah, the palm oil in Malaysia, the sample was taken in Nigeria. Yes, so palm oil, granite, cocoa, these are major products. Major. Then you have cassava, you have yams, you have corn, but actually our major cash crops were rubber, palm oil, cocoa, and granules. And most of these products are they are declining. They are no longer a major export products. So these are the problems. But how has Indonesia managed the issue of corruption, especially in the promotion of younger entrepreneurs? The government has introduced many models of empowerment through granting of interest-free loans. But at the end of the day, there's no strong framework to monitor. So you come in a situation where people will take their loan and buy cars, enjoy the things of life, and no framework, no mechanism to check or punish defaulters. You end up seeing government writing them off as bad debts. That has been our problem. So, and that's why I've always said that we should try to exchange. Nigeria and Indonesia will try to exchange more, because what we will gain from Indonesia, China will not give Nigeria. What Indonesia, the secret Indonesia, will give Nigeria concerning their economic expertise, China will not give Nigeria. But China will come with the sense of neo-colonialism. India will not give, Britain will not give. So I believe that Indonesia represents a good model for the South-South. Especially, we also know this is an Islamic country. But I discovered here that hijab is one more of a fashion, not as a sign of religious devotion. Yes.
Fashion.
Yeah, because in Nigeria, wearing hijab means isolation from the society. Yes, hijab means isolation from the society, no common interaction with same sex. And again, I also like to know how the Arab have intervened in your economy. Because we discovered that the Arabs spend more on building mosques in Nigeria
Yes.
than building economic enterprises.
But how about ethnic? How many ethnic
We
groups?
have 250 ethnic groups.
It's very similar.
Yeah, 200.
Belum selesai. Dari Myanmar udah datang.
Oh jadi.
Okay, let me
Yeah,
just
yeah. From Myanmar just now.
Okay.
So you have coffee break.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Yeah, and then we start the session on Myanmar.